Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. So on my blog, I show you how I made my millions, starting at 19, millionaire by 28, made tens of millions more. Wrote a book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. It's bestseller on Kindle and Amazon. You can get a paperback for 20 bucks, you can get it for 10 bucks on Kindle. So today we're going to talk about Ben Mallah. Ben Mallah recently did a video on his first million. And I thought it'd be interesting to review that, but also compare how I made mine along with how he made his. Different parts of area. We got into real estate. I actually got into real estate earlier than he did, but he's been fantastically successful. And I really like Ben a lot because when I hear him talk, I hear myself speak, and it's the same kind of things I've told people for many years, and it's just good sound advice. He's the real deal. A lot of people out there aren't the real deal. They have these seminars and courses, and they've never done it. To them, it's all theory. So it's nice to hear someone like Ben, like myself, that has actually been there, done it. And so let's watch Ben.
Ben, please wear seatbelt. Even a fat whale like you can fly out the window in a crash. Hot tea, milk, cream, and sugar. We asked for your comments, and you gave us them. And here they are. First comment says, Dear Ben, is it possible to succeed as a real estate investor as a secondary business? Yes. That's the beauty of real estate. Once you buy it, and once you got it rented, and once it's operating, there's nothing to do. You could buy a house, you rent the house out, they pay you the money to rent every month. All right, if something breaks, you send a handyman over there to fix it. There's nothing to do. Pay the mortgage, what? Take you 5 minutes, 1 month, every month. Pay the mortgage, done. A lot of people start in real estate as a secondary business. You keep your base that pays your bills, and then you invest in real estate and try to have a secondary income. It's, I think a lot of people, most people start that way. Well, I was buying real estate, but while I was buying real estate, I was still working as a property manager for somebody else. But I was buying stuff on the side and working it. A lot of professionals invest in real estate, but you still got to watch it, you still got to worry about it, but it doesn't take up a lot of your time, because once something's rented, it's rented. There's nothing to do. It's not, you don't have to be a genius. Okay, next one. Please wear seatbelt.
And the same thing I would tell anybody. It's an independent business by itself. Now, Ben tends to buy and hold stuff, and I understand that. I myself, so that's exactly right what Ben just said. Each business, each building that I buy is its own entity. It's its own business. In fact, they are, they have, each one of mine have their own tax return for that matter. So when you get invested with your first property, you can do it a couple different ways. You can buy and flip. You buy it under market. That's something I teach in my book is buying it under market and flipping it. Not everybody wants to hold real estate. I do both. I hold about 130,000 square feet, but I also always keep a certain amount of inventory that I flip. In fact, this is the first building that I ever purchased is the one you see behind me. I was 19 years old. I didn't have any credit, and that was the beauty of owner financing, and that's something I teach about also in my book, by the way. But let's keep listening to Ben.
Even a fat whale like you can fly out the window.
But one time I was in an accident, and what almost really hurt me was a stupid airbag blew and bust me in my damn face, and that was worse than I think the crash. But thank you very much.
Herb Levin. It's not Levine because there's no E on the end, so I don't think he's Jewish. Levin. Comment. And if rent drop, Like in '07 to '12 here in Sarasota, I bought more. Rents go up, rents go down. The point is, they don't fluctuate that much unless you over inflated your rents. There's a market for rents. And as long as you're within that market, they don't fluctuate. I never remember rents fluctuating that much unless you're in some big fancy property that you're overcharging to begin with. But basically the kind of properties I deal with, one bedrooms are about in the sevens, may top out at 8 if it's really nice. 2 bedrooms are in the 9 to 1,000, and the 3s are at 1,000 to 1,200. I mean, rents go up and down, yeah, but not that much. Not enough to make you go bankrupt or belly up, unless you're doing them on a big scale and you have 100 new rents that are overpriced and they all go down $100 a month. That could hurt. And typically they do go up, but that they go up gradually. And most of my rents are established by the federal government, HUD, which then passes them down rent limits to the state, and then the state passes them down even to the city, and then the city and county. So we all work off the same rents. They're based, so we just charge whatever the government tells us to charge. And they normally give us a small, modest increase every year. I don't really remember them ever going down. They may have stayed the same, but I don't recall ever my rents going down that were affordable housing or Section 8 or anything like that. But the open market can fluctuate. By the way.
So what he's talking about is interesting. So like I've had one HUD rental in my whole life, and it was a house actually. And it wasn't for me, but you know what? The money was steady. The money came in just like clockwork. Now I had a whole different path altogether. I bought commercial properties, houses, duplexes, apartment buildings. I bought just about everything there is. I never specialized just in the HUD housing like it sounds like Ben does. The thing about rents, you kind of look at them like stocks. When I say a rent is like a stock, it's like this. If you get a really good deal on your rent and you have it locked in for the next 5 years, and then the area really explodes and goes, gangbusters, I'll be sitting there going, geez, I wish I wish I wouldn't have given you a 5-year term. I wish it was maybe 2 years, because then we'd be adjusting these rents up. And there's also something called the CPI, Consumer Price Index. It kind of keeps up with inflation. It's usually 2% a year. I can attach that on some of my rents too, so that they go up gradually. Ben, I'm guessing that the HUD probably does something similar. That CPI index is kind of a good thing to do. And let's keep listening to Ben.
Tell us about your first million. It was a long time ago. And I don't know, it was accumulation of, I was out there hustling so much I didn't realize. All I know is every time I made some money and I went to the bank and got a refinance, I put the money in the bank, and I had about $1 million probably when I was about, mid to late 30s. I was 34 when I met Carla. I didn't have $1 million when I met her.
A friend of mine, his wife made him a millionaire. Before that, he was a multimillionaire.
I only had like 50 grand, but then it got the million pretty quick, like the next year or so. 35, 36. Wow. I think I made the million. She was like my good luck charm.
I'm going to stop him there for a second, because it's an interesting thing. He realized he was a millionaire, when he went to the bank. It sounds like basically when he went to the bank, he realized he had the credibility. He realized how much money he had accumulated or how much equity he had. That's what he said. He said he'd go refi, and when you refi, you kind of mark things to market, and then you kind of know what things are worth, at least from a bank's perspective. But I'll tell you, it's interesting. The way I found out I was a millionaire, the way I kind of realized it. A friend of mine who also had invested in real estate, he was also a good friend, and he knew a lot about the properties I had. Well, I was sick of the business. I had a cabinet shop in that building that I showed you. And a customer come in and said something to me, and I'm like, ugh, you know what, I'm done. I was rude to him too. I was rude to the guy. And I thought, you know what, I think I've been in the cabinet business too long. I'm done. Anyway, so I started talking to a friend of mine about selling the cabinet shop. And he says, well, Tom, he goes, you own this, right? And I go, yeah. And he goes, you own that? And I go, yeah. He goes, you still own this one? I go, yeah, I still got that. And he goes, I don't even know why you're working anyways. He goes, you've already got over $1 million. And I thought, you know what? And I put the pencil to it and I said, you know what? You're right. You're right. And sure enough, I sold my business in 2 weeks and I was done. And I've been an investor ever since. Let's go back to Ben.
How much money in the bank would you need to retire, Ben? It's not so much me retiring. I can retire today. Unfortunately, I have a 12-year-old. Well, he's getting ready to be 13. And I hope he graduates when he's 17. So I can't really retire for 4 more years because I'm stuck here anyway while he's in school. But I can retire today. The problem is a lot of people help me get where I'm at today, mainly my kids. I can't just retire unless I know that I made enough money to get them, keep them on the right track and protect their future. So we're doing all right, but I'm stuck for 4 years. And I'm sure by then I'll have enough, hopefully, where everybody will be taken care of and can do their own thing and I can be free.
He's sitting here with more than 100 million. And he's already thinking, that's not quite enough. I need more than that, so my kids will be set up. So think about that. Think about that. And I believe he believes that. I believe that's how he feels. He had kids really young. I had them later than he did. So my kids really didn't get to help me build my wealth at all. But that's okay, it's just it's just a different story. But think about, you got to set high standards. In other words, don't be satisfied with so little, okay? You got to set your standards high. Always have a goal that you want to reach, okay? Always keep it high. Because if you set your standards low, guess what? You're going to hit them and you're going to start cruising when you shouldn't. That's why so many people don't have anything. They can't retire. They didn't set the bar high enough for themselves. But I just thought that was an interesting comment. He's got over 100 million from what I understand, and he's sitting here thinking, you know what? I need enough that I want to make sure my kids are okay. I get it. Anyways, let's keep going.
You only raise the rents in affordable housing to the limit that the government permits you to. They have very strict regulations on what you can charge for rent. So, affordable housing is one thing. As far as market rate housing, yes, you want to raise the rents to whatever the market will pay.
Keep watching the videos. Keep going out there looking for real estate. Keep commenting. Keep doing everything. Just keep doing it all. You can do it, baby. You can do it.
Anyway, just great job, Ben. Yeah, I love that he shares so much and just tells it like it is. So, folks, if you don't have my book, get my book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. There's so many scammers out there taking you for, tens of thousands of dollars, even 5,000. It's just too much. You can start with a book. Start with a book. Start with a $10 book. And, if you feel like you get ripped off, I'll buy it back from you, okay? I don't get rich off books. Anyways, so please share and subscribe, and thanks for watching.